Hey guys, it's Dr. Russell from Legacy GoHealth at our Cascade Park Clinic in Metro Portland. I wanted to come to you today with a brief message about keeping yourselves and your family safe as we start to face some icy weather out there here and all across the country. So it may seem very basic, but we see thousands and thousands of patients across the U.S. every year that have injuries because of simple slips on ice. And I want to talk to you about a few basic strategies that you can use to keep yourself safe. The first and most obvious but powerful tip is don't go outside if you don't need to when it's icy. There are things that you have to do on an everyday basis and things that you don't need to do. And if you have an option of not going out, especially if you've been hit with some severe ice, it's best to just stay inside, and especially if you're going out for fitness runs or walking, think about using a treadmill instead when there's ice on the road. Secondly, if you do have to go out, it's important to be cautious that you need to walk differently and wear different footwear than you would be accustomed to wearing likely in drier conditions. So when you think about slipping, it's all about friction. And you want to get shoes that maximize friction because ice has less friction than normal dry pavement. And the best shoes are shoes that are made for hiking boots and things like that. I wanted to show you a product too that is really helpful if hiking boots don't fit your fashion sense. And that is Yak Tracks, which are a product that turn any shoe into a shoe that helps with friction and grip in icy conditions. So as you can see here, I have basically a standard kind of semi-casual, semi-formal boot that has very little friction. This would be an example of a poor choice for icy conditions. On my other foot, I have the same shoe, the matching shoe actually, but and a Yak Track on the bottom, and there's these metal coils that go along the rubber sole, and that provides extra friction when you're out walking around in the ice. Additionally, it's good to think about walking in a slightly different manner than you would normally walk when it's icy. So we tend to normally walk with our arms swinging and our body leaning over a bit above our waist, and that puts our center of gravity in a position where we're likely to lose our balance when we don't have as much friction as we're used to. And we can look to nature for an example of a better way to walk on the ice, and that is the way that penguins walk. And if anyone has seen the March of the Penguins, you get a sense of what's the best way to keep yourself balanced, and that is to keep yourself upright and arms at your side with your feet a bit wider than you're normally accustomed to walking, and avoid quick turns. So those are some basic tips about how to avoid the fall. Now, if you should have a fall or slip on the ice, what injuries do we see? Well, we see a lot of bruised bottoms and sides, but the most common injury we see is actually injuries to the wrist. It's a natural reflex that we have as humans to try to brace ourselves when we fall, and so it's very common to have folks that injure their wrist. And if you have pain, certainly, or if there's swelling or deformity after a fall, it's a good idea to get checked out, make sure that your wrist isn't broken, or if it is sprained, that you're getting the appropriate kind of treatment recommendations. So we have x-rayed all of our facilities, and if you do have that unfortunate fall, we'd be happy to see you and take a look at your wrist or any other part of your body that's injured. But first and foremost, stay safe out there, avoid the ice, and wear appropriate footwear if you need to be out there so you can have a healthy and happy holiday season.